What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. We finally got it. We got the drop of the Dead City Season 2 trailer, and of course we're going to break it down, talk about it, because this was a very loaded trailer. A lot of new footage and just pointing in all these different directions, and just I'm so excited for this next season now because of the things that this trailer has, the story that I think, the different directions that it's going to go, and just it's, to say the least, it's very exciting that we finally got this new trailer, and just there's so much going on in it. So I just definitely want to jump into it, break it down real quick, talk about it. And we're coming up on just less than a couple of months now until we get the premiere of this next season, May 4th. So let's jump into this breakdown and talk about what we got coming this next season, because there's just so much, I think, and just where I think the story is going to divert from, with Negan being pretty much held prisoner and being forced in this position again, and just where I think it's going to go from there, judging from what we got in this trailer. So just really, really excited. But anyways, let's jump into, we got our first screenshot. This is just a typical one that we have seen a lot with a lot of our teasers and everything, just an over sky shot view of New York, just in complete shambles, overgrown, buildings deteriorating that were caught fire or just naturally breaking down over time. But moving on to the next one, we got our skyline shot of Manhattan, just another situation where all these buildings and everything are falling apart in the background. We got the harbor there and everything. This next one, another shot of the skyline with the Statue of Liberty there with the nose falling off, so it looks very much kind of like a skull almost. But just a lot going on. I love the scenery in this, and that's kind of been, I think, a big draw for me anyways. Having everything kind of take place in this new location, we get to see the deterioration of a large metropolitan area, and just seeing different types of scenery than what we saw within The Walking Dead and with Fear, because Fear was just hopping all over the place, and for the most part, it was out in just the middle of fucking nowhere, and that was just one of the factors that contributed to the downfall of that show. But moving on to the next shot, we have Central Park here. Now, Central Park, obviously, clearly it has overgrown. It is just a jungle at this point. And with that tease that we got the other day, then we get an answer to it in this one, I'm pretty sure. But with that teaser that we got the other day, we got Maggie running and then slamming this door, and this thing just driving into this door to the point where it dents it inward. That, I'm pretty sure, is being answered in this, and you have to pretty much assume and conclude that that's wildlife from what Central Park has turned into. Because you have to think too, Central Park, I think, has its own small zoo, so things probably escaped, or it's been 10 years, things have escaped and multiplied over that time. Then we have a shot of Negan. This is Negan making his way through the Central Park, one of the little bridge tunnel areas, where we have walkers that are like caught in the overgrowth, where they probably sat still for so long that they became a part of the wall, and they're just like stuck to this overgrowth within this bridge under this tunnel or whatever, and not really posing a threat, I guess. So that's why they're kind of just making their way through, not really trying to kill any of them. But just one of the many exciting things I think this trailer has going on. Then we got another shot of just the blacked out New York City. Just, again, I love the scenery and everything that they're doing with this show, and just very excited for what it's going to do as far as the story, just judging from this trailer that we got. Then we got a shot here of Maggie and Percy talking about how, why do you want to bring back New York? So apparently Percy has something to do with this. The new Babylon settlement is, partaking in bringing back parts of New York themselves, maybe, or just what's going on there. Or this could also be a conversation between Maggie and Negan too, but just the way it's cut, you can't really tell. Then we got a shot of Maggie. We've seen this before, where she's got kind of this look of disbelief on her face, where she's in the area where they were holding these giant meetings with the gangs of New York and everything. She somehow made her way back in there. So there's a lot going on as far as her and Herschel's relationship too, and just where they're going to take him, because we got the reveal, I think his name is Daniel Kim, the actor who plays Herschel, saying that Herschel's story is going to take a very dark turn this season. And I can kind of see that, because he's always been kind of a little shit. And just with the story that they gave him, of course, him having a very tragic upbringing with, losing his father and everything, but there's just something going on with his character. And so I'm excited to explore that anyways. But Maggie here, disbelief, shock, whatever. And then moving on to the next one, this is where Percy says, we've lost so much. So this is a conversation between her and Percy, and just talking about, again, how they've lost so much. And that's true. I mean, the whole world died basically, and the technology and the manufacturing, just everything that was a part of that world is now gone. So what they're trying to do to bring it back, just what all that entails, we'll have to wait and see. Then we get a shot of Herschel here. Now Herschel, again, I think his story is going to be something that's going to be, it's going to pose a problem where his character is supposedly supposed to take this dark turn where he's probably going to turn on his mother, because there's a shot that kind of lends itself to that theory later in the trailer that we'll also jump into. Then we have a shot of Negan here. This is within that big meeting that we've seen in multiple trailers at this point, where he's trying to talk to, I'm assuming at this point, maybe one large group within New York that's maybe kind of a rebel type group where they don't want to be a part of their gang or whatever. And that's it's just kind of takes a dark turn here, where of course we have Dama kind of up in the bleachers, or whatever you want to call them, the upper section of the church. And then we have this shot. This is that ring that's kind of Roman gladiator style thing, because this is that dinner scene, I think, where we have Bruegel, Croat, Negan, probably other leaders of various other groups, or just people in high places of power or something. And this is just their form of entertainment. But then we got this. We got these guards at this gate. Then we have Herschel kind of making his way up. This I'm not sure about. Maybe this is just people on the outskirts of a community just trying to survive, trying to earn their way in, or just what's going on here. And maybe this is where they're seeing the city light up and just kind of they're all in awe. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, like I said, this is a very loaded trailer. Just so much going on with the so much additional footage that we haven't seen yet, which was very promising for what's coming up in this next season. Then we get another shot of Herschel just pointing at just this look he's got. He's always got this blank expression, emotionless look on his face. And he is just very broken, I think, along with everything that happened to him before he was even born, with the death of Glenn, and then him getting kidnapped and just being in constant danger, and this hatred that he has for Negan for what he did, the direct responsible party for taking his father away from him. But just seeing where his character's going to go, it's like I mentioned, I think it's going to get bad. It's going to be a big problem for Maggie, and just I think there's probably maybe a deeper story they're going to try to tell with him. He's going to kind of go to the dark side in a sense, considering this is being released on May the 4th, but go to that side and just really turn against his mom, in the sense that you can't forgive this guy for what he did, referring to Negan, and we need to join this group. So Herschel, I think, is going to become a huge problem. He's going to become very conflicted and everything. Then we got a shot of Negan and Croat. Now, just from this shot, I know, it's a weird shot too, but he's with Croat. He looks annoyed. So that kind of also lends it to the whole, he doesn't want to be there. He is really annoyed with this fact that he has to be around this guy again, considering he tried to kill him once for the awful things that he did. So I imagine their relationship is going to be very strained and just very awkward. And then you still have Croat basically worshiping Negan for the guy that he used to be, and probably trying to get him to be that guy again. Then we got another shot here. This is within, I want to say, the things that we've seen in other trailers where Negan's kind of in this cell type setting where they're coming in saying, this is how you're going to do it. This is what you're going to say. This is what you're here for. Don't stray from these directions, or don't stray from this path, or there will be consequences. Then we got another shot here of the city lighting back up. And I think this is also where Maggie kind of roams into this area and sees it all coming back to life. And she's like, in shock. And I think that's probably within that same shot that we saw of all those people gathering at that gate. Maybe this is an entry point to that area. So there's so much going on. Then we got Negan here with his new Lucille, and it seems there's a lot more than meets the eye with this one, because he points it at this dude, the dude grabs it, and then a shot goes off. So I just don't know if there's like a gun kind of crafted within this, or just what's going on. Maybe someone from behind him shoots him, but there's just, this meeting definitely takes a hard left turn, where we see these people, these dudes with flamethrowers, open up on this crowd. Maybe they didn't want to be a part of it, and this is the punishment. It's like either you join or you die. And just they have this whole just weird thing going on. And again, it's adding to the excitement of it. It's making it very much, there's no holding back on the thrills that I think this next season is going to be. And so I really hope it builds up to just an amazing story and pointing it into what hopefully could be the forgive my choice of words, resurrection of the Walking Dead universe, giving it a better story to build up to, considering just the mess that it is right now. Daryl Dixon being so low on the totem pole as far as quality and story and everything, building into this where it just seems like there's a lot more going on story wise and just more quality to it and more time and effort put into it. Moving on, we have our one of our few first shots of Bruegel, and then we got this dude kind of mutilated on the ground. So, and he's very cavalier about it. You know, basically this shit happens. And so it's very on par with the actor Kim Coates and a lot of the other parts that he's played. He just very much doesn't give a shit. And I've really enjoyed that about other parts that he's played. And it looks like they're going to factor that into this character too. So again, with him being a billionaire in the past, he probably doesn't give a shit. He probably has never really been in touch with reality or anything like that. So this is just kind of probably something that he's perfectly okay with. Then we got our group shot here. Like I said, we got Bruegel, we got Croat, we got Negan, and we got all these other types, probably leaders from other groups because we do have Dama there on the end of the table. So there's just, again, so much going on. So excited for this. And this definitely has me excited and hyped up for Walking Dead again because it's very much been at a low point with Daryl Dixon, with Fear just turning into the dumpster fire that it did. So just ready for this next go around of Walking Dead, considering it's been almost 2 years. It will have been like a month shy of 2 years since Dead City was last on. Then we got a shot of Percy, Herschel, and Maggie sneaking their way into somewhere within Manhattan. And I think at some point it kind of goes sideways, judging from some additional shots that we're going to go through. But we got this too, where Negan's leading a charge almost. He's leading, he says like 1, 2, 3, fire or something like that. And then they fire on this boat. So they're keeping people out of Manhattan, keeping them off of the island by any means necessary. And then we get a shot. I want to say this is probably the New York City Natural History Museum or or maybe the Art Museum, because from the teaser that we got yesterday, they showed that scene of the George Washington going across the Hudson painting on fire. And I honestly think, judging with Croat and these other dudes here, I think these are the flamethrower guys. They're just going into this building to set it on fire, to do away with history. And so there's just, I don't know. And then we have Negan here. This is where him and Maggie first see each other. She walks in on him. He's holding this new Lucille. And he mentioned something like, we got things to do, or just there's something going on where I think they're going to go into cahoots, where they're going to go into a plan together. So, again, I think this season's building up to something pretty wild where they're going to team up to take down these gangs because Negan doesn't want to be there. This has been made very clear by just a lot of the shots that we've seen, and there's another major shot in this one, and that I did cover it in the teaser that we got yesterday, but there's a little bit more, I guess, with this one, but not too much. But with this, I just think that they're going to use what little humanity Negan has against him. Because we got Maggie here, and she looks like she's in that gladiator ring fighting walkers. So I will talk more about this when I get to the one shot that I wanted to talk about. But then we have Negan here taking a swing. This is also probably during a moment maybe where things kind of go sideways, and he takes it upon himself to just kind of rebel against this situation that he's been forced into. Because we got another shot here. We got walkers. It looks like maybe this is a cemetery, and this is where they're holding their meeting, or just what's going on here. And this is that meeting. So this is probably within that same area. Maybe it's not a cemetery. Maybe it's just like a courtyard around a apartment building or something like that. This is the scene, I think, that they're just going into this museum and just setting things on fire for the sake of doing it, just doing away with the past, just wanting to disregard that, the last 200 plus years. Then we got another shot. Maggie looks like she's in this ring, and then we got the lights from cars watching her. So this is pretty much a show, I think, that she's been forced into. So I think that there's something else going on here. Now here's where we kind of gets, I think, the reveal. That thing that was pounding against the door, it was a bear. It was a wild animal. People thought maybe it could be a variant of some kind. I think they're going to kind of detour away from the whole variant plot line because of just everything that Daryl Dixon's doing right now. I don't think it's a variant by any means. I think it's this fucking bear. And Maggie has to deal with it, and just how she's going to do that, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But there was this one shot, and this is one that I talked about in my teaser yesterday, where we have Negan, and it looks like he's being held down in one of those chairs at that dinner table or whatever that we saw all these people sitting at outside of that gladiator style ring, where he's being forced down, he's saying no and being held back. I honestly think that they find Maggie at some point sneaking into this arena or this complex that they've built up, and they put her in this gladiator situation to kind of force him to do what they want. And this might be the tipping point where he completely rebels against them. He's like, you know what, fuck this. She doesn't deserve this, so our deal's off. And they're going to try to tear down this whole thing that's been built up, and maybe it'll go another season where we get them having a whole story focused on that, where they're going against the Barazi and the other groups and everything. But I think this is the beginning to the end of one story and the start of another. So very excited about that. But this is probably by far one of the most going to be talked about shots from the trailer, which is Maggie holding this new Lucille, or whatever Negan decides to call it. But her holding this is probably going to bring up so much and be so traumatizing, but maybe a little bit empowering, considering the power that this bat and this memory has had over her for so long, that she might use it to kill a few people. Or maybe this is the ultimate buildup where she could possibly use this to kill Negan. I would kind of hate to see that, because I think they could work towards a redemption for both of them to kind of get back on track. But just, this is going to be a big deal. This is something that I think Lauren Cohan actually kind of let slip during one of her interviews, that she was the only other one allowed to touch it. So just, again, very, very loaded trailer. Just so much going on, so much new footage, and it's definitely got me more excited for this next season. I was kind of, 50-50. It could go either way, but now it's like, this is going to be awesome. But that does come on the tail of some other news. I still need to do a video about it, but I will do it probably later today. But just so excited, ready for this next season. So if you enjoyed my video, my breakdown, my thoughts about the show, please be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing, and come back for more Walking Dead content just like this. And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.